The Miami Heat and the New York Knicks are playing in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Now, this is a series between an 8th seed and a 5th seed. So two lower tier teams who, in my honest opinion, I don't really think are contenders. But I think it's going to be a pretty interesting series nonetheless. In this video, I'm predicting that the Miami Heat are going to win in 6 games. Now, there's a few factors in why I think that the Miami Heat are going to win. Of course, Jimmy Butler, he's been having a pretty phenomenal playoff run. He's leading the NBA in scoring in the playoffs, and he's really done everything for the Miami Heat. You can't really say that he hasn't been carrying them on his back, but I feel like that's part of the reason why they're an 8th seed. Like, they don't really have a lot of help, especially with Tyler Hero out with that hand injury, and Bam Adebayo has been very inconsistent. He's been playing very good on the defensive end. He's gotten those stops on Giannis, but if the Miami Heat really want to be, a contender, then they're going to need Bam Adebayo to step up. I think that he's going to be the key for them in this series. If he can really contribute on the offensive end and get 20, 25 points and be a little bit more aggressive to take some of that pressure off of Jimmy Butler, because eventually he's going to run out of gas. Nobody is invincible. Fatigue is going to catch up with you. So if the Miami Heat really won this series, I'm looking at Bam Adebayo to really put his foot down and put a stamp on this series. You got a great coach in Eric Spoelstra who he's going to keep the team on track, but again, points win the game. Bam Adebayo, we need you to step it up. For the New York Knicks, honestly, I'm not really as high on the Knicks. I don't think anybody's really high on the Knicks, but they're just an exciting story because they're in New York. They have the lore of Madison Square Garden. They have Stephen A. Smith yelling and screaming and being excited. But for the actual team, yes, you have Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, he's been giving you a smooth 25. He's very consistent. He holds the lead when he's in the game. He doesn't really lose leads. He's a very consistent and steady player. But when you get to those others, Julius Randle, right now I'm calling him an other. Yes, he's had a few injuries. He's a little bit banged up. But if you're injured to the point where it's really impacting your performance, then don't play. But if you are healthy, then you can't use the injury as an excuse. And to be honest, he's been very mid in this series, and I don't really expect him to really step it up at all, to be honest. Also, just their team in general, they do have great role players. They have Emmanuel Quickley, who was in 6th Man of the Year contention. They have Josh Hart, who's always going to win you a couple extra possessions. And hell, even Mitchell Robinson in the last series, he outplayed Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Now, a reason that I'm low on the Knicks is because I feel like they didn't really show us anything in that first round series. I feel like that was more so about the Cleveland Cavaliers just being extremely disappointing rather than the New York Knicks really doing something in that series. The one player that I haven't mentioned yet is RJ Barrett. I think if RJ Barrett can really step it up, then the Knicks might have a better fighting chance in this series. RJ Barrett, he's been a very average player. He's a slightly above average defender. He's a slightly above average offensive player. He got that max rookie extension, but you don't really want to call him a role player because he's too good for that. But I feel like you can't name me 2 things he does better than anybody else in the league. He's not an all-star level player yet. So this series could be an opportunity for him to really say, hey, I'm RJ Barrett, I'm here. But again, I just don't really see it happening. I feel like the most exciting parts about this series are just going to be Jimmy Butler, how he's going to deal with being Madison Square Garden. And I do believe that the Knicks are going to put some good games together. But in all honesty, whoever wins this series out of these 2 teams are going against the juggernaut and the Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia 76ers. And I feel like they're just marching to their death at this point. But let me know what you all think. Am I just hating on the Knicks? Do you think the Heat are a real contender with Jimmy Butler playing the way that he is? I'd be interested in knowing what you all think. Thank y'all for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.